Oh, hello, everybody, and welcome to our weekly show. We call it Three Broke Guys Handicapping. It's where we review one of the top racing cars from around the United States. We will select a four-race sequence from that track and attempt to come to a consensus on a pick four ticket. I think it's going to be a little bit easier tonight. Thank you for joining us. This week, folks, to be perfectly honest, the pickings are getting very slim with just a week to go to Breeders' Cup. So we're going to go back to Belmont Park. In part because my good friend Ray Torado pointed out that this will be our last shot at Big Sandy, perhaps until next May. So the pick four starts with race number 7. It finishes in race number 10. That is the grade 3. Race number 9 is the grade 3, the Bold Ruler. My name is Rich Sharp, and each week I'll be joined by my friends and racing analysts. Unfortunately, he is not here on the show with us tonight. Ray Torado from Staten Island, New York is not here, but I do have my good friend from Temecula, California, Joe English. Joe, how you doing this week, bud?
I'm doing well, Rich. How about yourself?
Hanging in there. And I've just got a week to go until Breeders' Cup. And, I didn't have a chance to send this out. And I don't know if any of us are going to be able to attend Breeders' Cup in person. I know Ray's not. I know I'm not. I'm not sure about you.
Saturday is a possibility. Friday is likely a no-go.
All right. Give me one race that you're looking forward to seeing at the Breeders' Cup this year, even if it's just on TV.
Well, I have to. I want to see the Breeders' Cup Distaff. I wish I could be there on Friday to see Beholder, Songbird, Stellar Wind, even horses that some people might not think really have a chance, or that they're rank outsiders. Horses like Forever Unbridled or I'm a Chatterbox. That's a pretty deep and contentious field. So basically, they're all going to have their A game on, and having those three hook up at the top of the stretch, the three main contenders would be awesome to see who comes out on top. And I really do want to see how Songbird fares against the older fillies and mares.
Despite the sweatshirt that I'm wearing, Joe, or anything like that, that's the exact race that I'm looking forward to seeing too. So, handicapped it the same way this time.
Okay. Chrome's going to be a pretty prohibitive favorite.
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, seeing him run is never really disappointing. But I'm looking at it just from a competitive standpoint, as much as how good the performances are going to be.
Yeah. No, Beholder and Stellar Wind in particular, those two, the last two times that they've hooked up, they put on a really exciting performance. And again, I'm with you. I want to see how Songbird can hold up against those two.
Yeah. Should be fun.
All right. We were not on the air last week, so there was no pick four for us to recap. Time for a brief weather update. And the forecast in Belmont, New York, calls for partly cloudy skies, a high temperature of 63 degrees. There is a 10% chance of rain, so keep your eye on the track. Humidity at 59% and a slight wind at 13 miles an hour. Sounds kind of like downright balmy for this time of the year in New York, Joe.
Yeah, actually, this is when it starts. Generally, by Thanksgiving is when you really start noticing the difference. And just so that everybody knows, they were off the turf today, except for the feature. Because they had some rain the night before, so there still is some moisture in the track, just so that everybody is aware of that.
All right. There's a total of 10 races. There's 3 stakes on tap for Saturday. For tonight, we are focused on the pick 4. It begins in race number 7. It concludes in race number 10. Joe, the gates are locked and loaded. Shall we go ahead and get started?
Let's roll.
Race number 7. Approximate post time is 4:04 p.m. Eastern time. I do not know if there's a guarantee on this pick 4. I haven't seen that yet.
I don't believe so.
Okay. Maiden special weights going 6.5 furlongs on the main track. The purse is $75,000. It's for 2-year-olds only. 9 starters, and your morning line favorite at 5-2 is in post number 8. Big Handsome, trained by Anthony Dutrow and ridden by Javier Castellano. I've only got one broke guy tonight, but ironically enough, he is also called Big Handsome. Joe English, you are up first on race number 7. What do you think of the kids?
Since when am I called Big Handsome? Maybe I don't even think that's in my own house. But to be honest with you, this race kind of looks pretty chalky to me. I like the favorite. I guess I'll give you a formulator stat that I researched earlier today. He's going to be the clear speed. He's going to be the likeliest favorite. He's got the outside draw, and the formulator stat is that over the past 5 years at Belmont, with Javier Castellano in sprints in their second career start, Anthony Dutrow is 4 for 4 with a 6.22 ROI. I don't know that I can beat 100%, I know there's this cliche in sports about somebody giving 110%. I didn't think you can beat 100%. Again, it's a small sample size. It's 4 for 4, but he looks like the clear speed of the speed. And even if he's not, he can sit outside. Castellano knows what he's doing. Not anything anybody needs to know anything other than that. So to me, he's about as close to a single as you're going to get. If anybody wanted to play horses underneath, I went underneath with the 3. I want to say it's Tackaful, the Shadwell stable homebred. McLaughlin is good with first-time starters and with Ortiz in this Jose Ortiz. Both positive ROI angles for that barn. Again, Shadwell runs a pretty tight ship, and they're pretty classy runners. First-time starter. Could do some damage. Maybe he'll finish underneath. And the other horse I kind of like a little bit is Shades of Night, the 6. He was gaining into a very quick pace late, and he beat at least half the field. He beat half the field, finished 4th of 8, only 3 lengths back. Eric Cancel returns, and at 12-1 underneath, he might be worth a shot. But to me, I could be very easily persuaded to single Big Handsome, the 8 for the Castellano and Dutro contingent. So, Rich, I'm going to keep it simple. 8 over 3, 6. What do you have to say?
I'm inclined to agree with you here. Again, this was that Anthony Dutro angle that you kind of already touched on a little bit, and Javier Castellano. From what I saw, it was the only horse the only horse who's got experience who has also shown early speed, so has shown that ability to race kind of early on. So I kind of liked it, and ironically enough, and again, this kind of goes back to what we were talking about the Breeders' Cup and things like that. I did like the first time started Tackaful with Kieran McLaughlin, 18% with first time starters for Kieran, so not bad. A Bernardini coming here, so 11% from Bernardini. So I thought worth a shot. So I would have gone 8-3 here. I believe Joe is on the exact same page as me, so we're going 8-3 or 8-3. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And we are going to move on to, we'll come back to you guys. All right, and now we are moving on to race number 8. And race number 8 is an allowance race. They're going a mile on the Widener Turf Course. It's for 3-year-olds and upward, foaled in New York State, and approved by the New York State Bred Registry, which have never won $13,000 other than maiden, claiming, or starter, or which have never won 2 races. I love these jokes. First is $62,000 for 3-year-olds and upward. There are 16 starters, and your morning line favorite is in post number 11. I believe this is pronounced Ordinaire. Trained by James Jerkins and ridden by Junior Alvarado. Joe, I was kind of curious. Are you New York State foaled and approved by the New York State Registry?
Yes. Yeah. Actually, I don't know about the winning 2 races part, and definitely not winning $13,000. But as far as yes, I am actually New York born and bred. I was born in Elmhurst, which is in Queens. For any of you New Yorkers out there, you would know where that is. So I'm not sure how to follow that. This was a bit more of a wide open race. I kind of think there's going to be a little bit of pace in here, unless one of the 2 speeds, the known speeds, scratches out. So I kind of like the number 4. I like Fulmer at 6-1. He's lightly raced. He's cutting back. He ran his last start at a marathon distance, and he made a middle move that it looks like the mile would hit him right between the eyes. So I like the cutback. He drew good. He drew well in the 4-hole, 6-1 in the morning line, and he should get enough pace to run at. So I'm with the 4 on top. My second choice is one of the speed horses, and it's not the favorite. It's the horse on the inside, number 1, Barton Holt. The horse has been running against open company, and the one time he did run against state breds at Saratoga, if he runs that race again tomorrow, it's very possible that he could win. The only thing that I hesitate about him is that he's probably going to face pace pressure from the favorite, from the 11 Ordinaire. Again, if one of the other scratches, the other would be a good bet, obviously. But like I said, I kind of like the 1 a little bit because he's dropping back into New York State Bred company for a lively barn and a KG trainer. I would also like to include if they got in the number 14, Lucky Town, who's one of the also eligibles. He gets the jockey change to John Velasquez. The horse has also been running better at Belmont, and the angle is that John Velasquez is riding for a small stable. I don't know too much about Rodrigo Ubillo, but I know he's not necessarily a big winning trainer, and obviously only 16 starts this whole year. We're already into October. Well, actually, almost at the end of October. So basically, he's starting 2 horses a month. So that to me would qualify as a small barn. So I would definitely think that's an angle that's worth the flyer on. So basically, I would just go 4-1. If the 14 gets in, that would be fine with me. I will mention the 3, no texting, because he's one of few multiple winners in the field. The barn's going well. Rudy Rodriguez is having a really nice meet. The horse adds blinkers. The only thing about it is, one of the hesitations I have about him is that back in November when he won that race, the non-winners of 3 lifetime race, he won with a big figure. Actually had run 2 or 3 big figures in a row, and basically the horse had to be laid off until August. And the horse hasn't really gotten close to that level since returning. So he would be an underneath play, or he would be a play if, for whatever reason, the first 3 horses scratch. But again, I would go 4-1, the 14 if the horse gets in, and the 3 would be really only a late add if we had to get extra coverage, or there were plenty, if the top choices had all scratched out of the field. So 4-1 for me. Rich, take it away.
I believe you've actually sold me on 4-1 as well, ironically enough. I had liked the 4, so I liked Fulmer. I kept wondering if this is named for the former Tennessee coach. And
don't know.
Go ahead.
No, I said I don't know, but that's an interesting thought.
I was playing this strictly off of the pace angle, and once I scroll down past it, this god awful list of things like that. Again, this is Belmont, so it's not necessarily considered, where you want to necessarily be is on the lead, or that you have to be there. You do get 41% of your winners, but coming from off the pace in this lane, a turf race is generally, preferable here.
Mm-hmm.
But I did think that Barton Holt, and I had liked the favorite a little bit, but in kind of hearing Joe's analysis, I think we're willing to go ahead and toss the favorite in this one. And I will go ahead and stick with 4-1 as well in my analysis. I did like this horse. I liked Ordinaire with James Jerkins and Junior Alvarado kind of sitting up there. Again, another speed horse. So last 3 in a row have been, nice speed performances. But again, 4-1 for both of us here. And we'll move on into race number 2. Actually, 4-1. And I believe Joe's also got the 14 if we have room down underneath, if the 14 should happen to draw into that race.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Let's go ahead, and I'm coming back, and we'll be moving on to the feature. It is race number 9. This is the Bold Ruler handicap. It's a grade 3, and they're going 7 furlongs on the main track. The first is $200,000. It's a handicap for 3-year-olds and upwards. 13 starters, and your morning line favorite at 3-1 is in post number 4, Economic Model, trained by Chad Brown and written by Joel Rosario. Joe, I've got space on my shelf over here. It's all picked out for the Chad Brown bobblehead. Just as soon as they make one. So, do I need to go any deeper than the chalk in the feature?
You say economic, I say economic. I'm not sure where we go from there. Actually, Rich, I want you to pull up the summary page. One of the great features of the Brisnet PPs, and we tend to point it out on a weekly basis, the summary page about how the track's playing, what the profile looks like. And from what I saw earlier in the week, the 7 furlong percentages are ridiculous. If you still look, the E's or the EP types are 91% or in that range. 9 out of 10, I'd say that's a pretty strong profile. And 21 races is good enough for me. So I'm actually going with the speed of the speed. I like the 2, 3-5 India. Again, I like fresh 3-year-olds later in the year, and Comfort proved me right about that angle anyway a couple weeks ago in the PA Derby. So I'm going with the speed of the speed. I don't mind the three. Like I said, he's a 3-year-old facing older, but I like fresh horses later in the year. Horses like Stall Walking Dude has run 7 or 8 times this year already, and I'm not sure if the track profile just doesn't play to his strength. And again, like I said, I'm going with the fresh horse, and I'm going with the speed for Castellano. So the 2 is my top choice. I also like the 13. Quality, who's got some really big figures. The horse has been freshened, and I mentioned Comfort earlier, a couple seconds ago, and he's been running against Touch of Star Quality, and Comfort went on to beat horses like Exaggerator and Nyquist in the Pennsylvania Derby. So obviously, Touch of Star Quality has been facing some pretty good ones. He's got the outside draw. He's working bullets. I just don't know if the 13 hole is really a good place to be. I'm assuming it's not the best place to be, and maybe there'll be a scratch or two that'll let this horse draw in. I mean, I know I like outside speed, and again, he's been showing speed, at least going longer, but I think he'll still be able to maintain touch, and he'll be outside and he'll be in the clear. And Sandy's been kinder. Belmont is always kinder to horses that are on the outside.
Outside, yeah.
Make that looping move if they need to. So I'm with the 13 as well. And I like Economic Model a little bit. Again, he's another fresh 3-year-old. He should probably be closer up than Stall Walking Dude, and he'll get first run in the closers. So he's a pretty classy horse. He's been facing the likes of Drefong earlier in the year. And again, another horse that's been freshened. I just don't like the fact that he's the favorite. If the price is shifted and he was 4-1 or 9-2, definitely for sure. I mean, we're about picking winners and about getting the pick 4, so I'd want to put him on the ticket. But if I had to cut one favorite out, it wouldn't kill me. But again, I'm going 2, 13, and 4 in that order: 3-5 India, Touch of Star Quality, and Economic Model in the Bold Ruler. Rich?
I guess we're just going to have to call me a parrot tonight. I'm not too far off from you in every single race. So in this race, and you guys already heard it in the lead up like that. So I couldn't say that. I did eat the chalk in this one. So I'm a huge Chad Brown flyer. As I said, I'm not kidding. I've got a space picked out over here. He's going to be sitting right next to Bob Baffert just as soon as they make him a Chad Brown bobblehead also. Somebody get me the tweet for that one on my shelf. I believe he's a phenomenal trainer. He's got a rider by the name of Joel Rosario aboard. Not a stunning combination, but I imagine they're very solid. You look at those last 4 performances, the horse has got 2 wins, 2 seconds. And as Joe pointed out, one of the 2 horses that beat him there is Drefong. So Economic Model was my top pick here. If I was going to back it up, I picked this horse earlier this year. I'm trying to remember which race it was at. It might have been the Gallon Bob over there at Park. But I really liked 3-5 India coming into that race. Had won 3 out of 4 races. Leading into that one, and did not disappoint at all because he stumbled at the start of the race. So I went 4-2, so as opposed to Joe who went 2-4. And then I also had the 13 or 8. So I like the 13. I like the buyer progression score, and again the speed figure. So looking for somebody who's going to win 90% of the time. Looks like Michelle Nevins got herself a speed horse here. So I've got 4-2, 13. Joe's got 2, 13, 4. Yeah, you're right, Joe. We're going to have to start calling Belmont Los Al East.
Yeah, that. When I saw the numbers, I was floored. I'm thinking 7 furlongs on that track. No, I'm thinking it's about 50-50, maybe a little bit of a lean towards speed, maybe 55-45, not 90-10. That's insane.
All right. On to our finale. That is race number 10. That's why I have Rich's name all over it. Maiden Claiming, for 3-year-olds and upwards, sold in New York State and approved by the New York State Bred Registry. They're going 6 furlongs on the inner turf. The purse is $41,000, 16 starters, including your alternate entries at this point in time, and your morning line favorite starts from post number 6. Slapstick, trained by Tom Morley and ridden by Javier Castellano, is 5-2 on the morning line. Joe, the favorite in this race is apparently named for the way I've been handicapping for the past 6 weeks or so. So my New York bred friend, find us a winner, and let's cash our pick 4 in the Maiden Claiming finale.
Not just you, my friend. It's been all three of us lately. Are you sure you don't want to go first in this one? Like you said, it does have your name all over it. It's Maiden Claimers.
No, fire away, fire away.
I'm just, no worries. Gee, I really don't know what to say about this race. I was looking for something strange and something odd. The favorites don't excite me. They really they kind of like to run second and third, and they have bigger figures than either the first time starter. The first time starters obviously don't have the figures, but these races really confound and confuse me. So I like I said, I had the formulator PPs as well as the brisnet that you see on your screen. So I just went with a little different way, only because I went and used the formulator stats. I'm on the 10 Walk Proud. I can't remember the trainer's name now. I have to look at. Hang on a second. I can look it up quickly.
Gargan.
Okay, Danny Gargan. Yeah, I was looking at his stats, and just with maiden claimers, he's 33% with maiden claimers over the past year, and he's got a positive ROI of 2.79. And with Kendrick Carmouche, who's the jockey, or at least was thought the jockey, was supposed to be the jockey today, 6 of 16 with Carmouche with maiden claimers with a 4.06 ROI. Again, that was over the past year. So it's not like it's a one or two race sample here. It's a pretty solid sample size for me. The horse, may be better than we've seen so far. Again, this is a switch to Carmouche, and it's nothing against Saez or Ortiz. Like I said, I'm just going with the stats, and again, 11 for 33 with a positive ROI, and with Carmouche the same thing. The only other horse I could find, and again, it's not that I'm trying to beat the favorites. I'm looking for angles that maybe could be useful. I went with the first time starter at number 4, St. Peter's Bard, and the only reason I went with the horse is trainer Bruce Levine is 15% over the same period with maiden claiming starters and with a 2.10 ROI. There really is no history with Dylan Davis. Again, I'm just searching for something new here. Like I said, the favorites really didn't excite me, and I was thinking maybe this would be a nice way to end a pick 4. I know Walk Proud's only 4-1, but if the first time starter at 20-1 can get home, that would really make the pick 4 a nice payday. So basically, just 10-4 for me. Again, not really much excitement, but I'm definitely not the chalk eating weasel in the finale here. So, Rich, I'm sure you're going to have a different opinion of me. Other than not the first 3 races, we were pretty similar, but I'm guessing we're going to have a different opinion on this one.
Yeah, I guess this is where we must go our separate ways. It should always happen with that. I wanted to take a look at here. I just wanted to take a peek down at these summaries just real quick before I took away. 32% of these turf races are actually going wire to wire, and again, you're getting at Belmont, you're getting 60%. Mm-hmm. In a 6-furlong turf race, and then on the inner turf and things like that. So I was also going to go ahead and I guess kind of cast out there for a little bit of Irish hope, I guess. I'm not sure who the trainer is here. I guess we really do need our Mr. Torado here. It looks like Metivier or Metivier. Sure.
Yeah, no, the name is familiar. He's been training in New York for a long time, really low-profile connections. Obviously, you can see 1 for 21 this year.
Not crazy about the 0 for 8. So that's not a real strong positive indication here of success. At least the very first 4 of them you could throw out the window because those were all maiden special weights. Did drop down into the maiden claiming, and since he has dropped into maiden claiming in 3 of the 4 races, at least at the second call, he was either first or second. So the horse has got early speed. Actually carried it in a 7-furlong race that last time. Took back at that second pass in the second turn. So here's your 15-1 shot. And I'll go with Irish Hope, which is the number 8 for me here. And I guess I was going to back it up. I had thought here with Colonel Andy, and kind of hearing Joe's comments on Walk Proud, kind of having wanted to bring in the 10 as well down there. But I had Colonel Andy for Thomas Morley, Jose Ortiz. Almost always just playing the connections here in the finale. Again, this is maiden claiming. It's maiden claiming turf at Belmont, so this is not the very bottom of the barrel, which, by the way, is usually where you will find me hanging out, which is why I like maiden claiming. But so this is a little bit higher up on the food chain as far as the turf and maiden claiming at Belmont, but still kind of down there. So Colonel Andy is my backup pick. And if I had a third choice after listening to Joe, I thought that Walk Proud now deserved merit in there. So I went 8, 3, 10. And Joe, if I'm not mistaken, I've got you down here with 10.
You mean 8? You said 8, 9, 10. You went 9, right? You were
8, 9, 10.
8, 9, 10.
I believe you went 10, 4.
Yeah, I went 10, 4.
10, 4. All right, let me go ahead and I will bring up our. Come back to you guys, and we'll go ahead and bring up these.
Hey, Rich, you want to hear a funny story about Tom Morley?
Oh yeah.
Earlier in the week, or I think maybe it was even last weekend. I can't remember the exact date. I want to say maybe it was last Saturday. He sent out a tweet about a horse named Winx, Winx. I'm not sure if the horse runs in Australia or I thought it was in Europe. And he said Winx was the best horse in the world. And he had the video clip of the race that the horse had just won. I guess he had won the race like 2 years in a row. And I said that's a pretty strong. I responded to his tweet saying that's a pretty strong statement, considering that California Chrome's like undefeated and he's won like $13 million and he is who he is. And his response was, well, look what he does. He says, watch the race and look what he's done to a two-time Grade 1 winner. I've said. So my response to him was, okay, well, what's Beholder? Is Beholder like Beholder's like a 9 or 10-time Grade 1 winner? What's your point? Of course, he didn't respond to me after that. That was pretty much where the conversation ended because I don't know if he was just too busy or if I had just made my point, figuring, okay, well, California Chrome's been beating Grade 1 horses all year. I mean, look what happened to Frosted after he came back from Dubai and won the Met Mile by 13 or 14 lengths, earning the highest buyer speed figure anybody's seen in 15 or 20 years. But it was just perplexing to me that somebody would make that statement. And he says, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Chrome, but I'm like, okay, but it's hard to make that statement knowing that Chrome's been beating Beholder and Frosted and even Opportunity, who came back to win the Jockey Club Gold Cup at Belmont this month. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. How can you make the statement about the other Grade 1 winner that horse beat and not figure what California Chrome did to those other Grade 1 winners, multiple Grade 1 winners, and say that this horse is better than California Chrome? Unfortunately, they run on different surfaces and they're never going to meet. So you're never really going to get an answer to the question. But I was
I've heard that Australian horse before, and they let that. And I think I heard somebody say that claim before, and I think you hit around the tails. It's like, I know, but this is almost like comparing, American League stats and National League stats. They don't run against each other. They go, it's completely different and different competition. Right.
Yeah, no, and like I said, and that's just that. It's, I mean, the way he made it sound like the horse that he beat, the horse is named Harzand, was multiple Grade 1 winner. I'm like, okay, and what's California Chrome been beating? Has he been running in the maiden claiming ranks? Would he be able to run in that race tomorrow, in the 10th race tomorrow? I mean, really? Anyway, like I said, I just wanted to throw that out there. And like I said, the conversation ended with my tweet back to him, and I haven't heard from him since. So I'm guessing I made my point.
All right, let's see here. So you and I, we had a consensus on the 3 and the 8.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we also had a consensus on the 4 and the 1, and I put the 14 in there for right now because I know you had asked about that horse just in case.
Right. No, and I know he's an AE, and he may not make it in the race, so I'd be good with going. And honestly, Rich, if he does make it in the race, he's probably going to draw an outside box, so I'm okay with going 4-1 if we have to.
We'll put him down the secondary line. He might not even be in the race.
That's fine. Yeah, no, we won't know until tomorrow, obviously.
All right, and then in the third race, I believe, let's see, you've got 213, and I've got 24. I actually have the 13 underneath as well, so 2-4-13.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the last race, that was the only place that we actually had any kind of significant difference. You had 4-10, and I had 8-9.
Well, like I said, I'm not. I'd love to have the 4 in the ticket. 2x2. I had 2x2 by 3x3, which is 18. So 2x2 by 3x4. If we put the 4 in, that would be 12. That would be 24. 24, correct?
Yeah, it's a 24 hour.
Okay. So I mean, yeah, I'm okay with doing the 2x2 by 3x4 if you want. And again, scratches may change that.
Yep.
Because the 10th race is a turf race, the 8th race is a turf race. And I know you said the forecast calls for a small percent chance of rain.
Yeah.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't thinking they were expecting a lot, so I would assume that the races wouldn't come off. Now, if the 10th race comes off the turf, I'm not sure. Then I wouldn't. If for whatever reason the rain changes that race, I don't even know what to make of it after that. But I guess hopefully, I think we may just avoid the play altogether.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
But so we'll go 2, 3, 8 by 1, 4 by 2, 4, 13 by 4, 8, 9, 10 for $24 play. And again, if for whatever reason anything scratches out, maybe we can discuss. We can discuss the 14 again. We're either not doing another hangout, but I can text, or we can get in touch tomorrow morning just to see where we are.
Awesome.
I'm sad Mr. Torado can't be here to join us.
It happens every once in a while. So,
of course it does.
Especially kind of in that prep up for the Breeders' Cup and things like that. We all had to notice, boy, this is like going trick or treating and getting an apple or something. There's nothing there for you anymore. But next week we get all the Snickers, like the full size, king size Snickers bar in our bags when you get to do and every single race is $1 million, and everybody who's watching, fill up your account.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard, TVG is doing something interesting. Since it's not quite 10 o'clock, I can fill with this. I'm not sure if you got a chance to watch it. They announced this today. For each Breeders' Cup race, and it's going to sound strange, for each Breeders' Cup race, up to a $15 win bet. If you bet $15 to win on your first $15 win bet, if your horse runs second or third, they will refund the $15 that you lost because the horse finished second or third.
Oh boy! I mean, all day. I got it.
Every Breeders' Cup race. So basically, you can bet 15 to win. If the horse runs second, or third, you didn't win.
You got your money back.
And Christina Blacker was saying, "Well, just bet horses across the board. This way, if the horse runs second and third, you'll get paid for second or third, and you'll get your win bet back." Of course, your horse has to run for second or third.
For a second, yeah, you better be taking that.
So if your horses are running fourth, betting across the board is really going to the quick way to the poorhouse. But anyway, it's an interesting way to get people to play.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity, though. So I'm in.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
Who did you get your future bet in on for Kentucky Derby next year when you went to, again, we got some time.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? I didn't make a future book bet.
You did not. You went all the way there. You bet for me. You bet for Ray. You bet for yourself.
No, I didn't bet for myself because I couldn't find anything that I thought was worthy at this point. I thought Klimt at 20-1 or Gormley at 20-1 were too short. I did think about Syndergaard a little bit, but because he ran the really good race in the Champagne, but I just couldn't pull the trigger. So unfortunately, no. I have no future bets.
Ray who had not run yet. His name was Mastery when you went to Vegas, and so I was looking up things like that. And on DRF, they were talking about the horse. They were saying, this would be, one of Baffert's late blooming 2-year-olds, yada yada yada. Let that, keep your eyes on that. And I was going to ask you. I was planning on asking you about him. Let that, something got out of my, in my hair. I forgot to ask you anything like that. And then he ran the next week. He ran like he's going to win the Derby next year.
Yeah, no, I saw the social media buzz about the horse. Obviously, I had not heard of the horse until after the horse had actually run.
The only reason
so I wasn't aware of him. My guess is if somebody knew something, somebody in Vegas had probably already bet the horse down. You probably still could have got at least 100-1 on the horse, considering the horse had never run before. But yeah, no, like I said, I just couldn't find anything. And the funny part about it was the horse that Ray mentioned, one of the ones he ended up backing was Theory, and he was 60-1, or I thought something like 45-1 on the sheet. But when I went to make the bet actually turns out that he was only 25-1.
Oh, okay.
So obviously somebody had, known about him, and we'll find out more about him in the Breeders' Cup when he runs next Saturday. And because Practical Joke's in the race, Klimt is in the race, Gormley's in the race. So we'll see if any of those, obviously, hopefully one of those will come out and win the race and become, obviously the winner is generally the future book favorite going forward. But we'll see how that race plays out and all the other Breeders' Cup races. I love going to I love Breeders' Cup. I love going. I may not go this year. It's like I said, it's 50-50. But we'll see. Up.
Hey,
Do I see?
how are you guys?
We were just wrapping up.
Oh, you were? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh.
Well, I mean, we were just talking future book bets, and we had already made our pick for play, and Rich can put the template up for you if you want to see it. We had already made our play for $24, but hey, if you want to jump.
For those of you who enjoy watching our show, though, and wonder what just happened here, that's the end of the Broke Guys. So we are three Broke Guys, and that's Mr. Ray Torado, who joins us from Staten Island, New York. So welcome, Ray. Nice to see you, buddy.
How you doing, buddy? How you doing? Dad's okay. Thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
So go ahead. You can now you handicap the pick for it. It's all yours.
Oh boy.
We're done. I can go back inside.
Oh
no, we're done. Unfortunately for Ray,
actually, I'll tell you, the 3 and the 8. Yes, I did like the 3. Chacafo. First time starter with Glocken. And Ortiz up. He looks like a good horse. He's breeding as well, so yeah, I'll take a chance with him. That sounds good. The 8 horse, I have him in my picks too. Big Handsome. Speed first time starter. Racing the mud first time. So yeah, I like those two. We're good. Let's see, race 8. This is a quick synopsis. 14. I did like the 1. Speed from the inside on Barton Holt. Okay. Number 4, Former. I looked at him a little bit. Okay, you guys can have him. Cutting back a distance with the layoff. Yeah, he looks good. And the 14. I had like the 5 horse in there. So, okay. And the 8. Let's see. What's Lucky Town? That's if he draws it, right? I mean, he already did. I'm not sure.
No, we don't know yet, but if he does.
All right. Well, a lot can happen over here. It's been raining. It should be. I mean, I would probably say the track should be good tomorrow. I mean, maybe upgrade to fast. The rain did stop. It's a little chilly, so it may not, dry out as fast as it should. The 4 economic model, yes, I like his one-turn races. He's going to run well. 3-5 India. 6. Yeah, we're good. We're good. And race 9, 2, 4, 13. I like the 4. Okay. Oh, you like Amy Flato? Here, coming off the layoff. Ryan Phoenix. Okay. This looking good. Now, the last race, let me tell you. This is the race where if you're not live, you go home. On anything. This is you better cut you at the end.
I might go home even if I was alive.
Yeah, we discussed the merits of the maiden claiming rank.
This is one of those that
Rich, you use the term merits very loosely, don't you?
Yeah.
More like lack of, but go ahead.
There's a reason they're my favorite.
I might even take this one off. So Don't count that out.
All right. But
But yeah, I like your picks. Good.
you got a
I like
little
your
insight
picks.
there into Mr. Toronto's handicapping style in a very, very short 3-minute synopsis. So,
Very
all
short.
right.
This
For those of you who are watching, if you enjoyed the show, we will be back next week when we get together to take a look at another exciting card. And as Joe and Ray have been talking about, we actually are going to look at 2 exciting cards next week. So kind of stay tuned to our Twitter feed, and we will let you know. It sounds like right now we're tentatively planning to be back on Wednesday for the first day of Breeders' Cup, and then we will be on our normal time on Friday night to do the Saturday Breeders' Cup card for you. So again, 2 shows next week, Wednesday and Friday right now. That's kind of the tentative schedule. But again, keep an eye on our Twitter feed at 3 Broke Guys Handicapping. Gentlemen, that's all the time we have for tonight. It's always a pleasure to handicap with, well, the 2 of you, with you and Ray checking in there at the last second.
It's always fun,
Thank
Rich.
you.
For Joe English and for Ray Monterado, I'm Rich Sharp. Thank you for watching 3 Broke Guys Handicapping. Good luck and good night.
Good night, guys.